Okay, the statement was, we've been told, that Jesus died for our sins, that if we die, in some cases, we can go straight to heaven. There is purgatory. Does the denial into heaven equal hell? Let me first start off with the statement. And our time is up. But we're going to keep going, obviously. Saved by the bell, but not really. Jesus did not die for our sins. That's the first thing. Jesus died so that we could have the potential of being forgiven of our sins. When you look at the way the church has always worded it, Jesus died for the forgiveness of sins. He didn't die for the sins themselves. He died for us to have the ability to be forgiven without having to do the temple sacrifices and all this other stuff. He died opening the gates of heaven so that we could have that forgiveness for all who sincerely seek it, desire it, ask for it, it'll be given. He died for the forgiveness of sins. If you look at all of the prayers that talks about it, it talks about Jesus died for the forgiveness of sins. So we have to add that word in because it changes the conversation slightly. Jesus didn't die for sin. Jesus died for the forgiveness of sins. But forgiveness of sin also means that the person wants to be forgiven. The person is sorry for what they've done, and they ask for it. Jesus said, knock and the door will be opened, ask and you shall receive. What if we don't ask for God's forgiveness? He's not going to force it on us. So there's that. That's the first thing. Second, purgatory is the church's way of rationalizing some of the things that Jesus said. Jesus said, no one who has a single sin on their soul can enter heaven. Period. Without raising hands, rhetorical question here, how many people in this room do not have a single sin on their soul? Don't raise hands, please. Remember, I hear the gossip. I know what everybody says about everybody else. I know the parties and everything else you guys are doing that you don't invite me to. I'm joking, of course. If Jesus said that no one can enter heaven who has a single sin on their soul, and people have sins on their souls, does that mean they go straight to hell? The answer is no. So purgatory was the way of the church rationalizing a way of purifying us. The word purgatory comes from the word purgation, which in English is purge, to get rid of. So the idea of purgatory is a way of getting rid of those little sins that are sins so that we can enter heaven. So all of those people will go to heaven when they're ready. But denial of entrance immediately into heaven does not automatically equal hell. If you're looking at purgatory as a denial into heaven, they will be admitted into heaven. It might just take a little bit of time. But anybody who's destined for hell, they actually get to go to heaven too. Did you know that? People who are going to hell get to go to heaven. You know why? Because they got to get judged. Because what? They got to get judged. When you're standing before Jesus, where is he standing? In heaven. So we go to heaven, we stand before Jesus, he gives us our judgment, and then we either go to the left or the right, wherever our final eternity is. The smoking or the non-smoking section.
It would be even worse.
And by seeing heaven, it would be even worse because you see what you're giving up by the life that you led. Yes.